as the love and hip-hop community was still recovering from the previous courtroom scandals and club fights. Something even more surprising came to light. Rumors started out as whispers and spread via direct messages, backstage trailers, and side interviews. However, those speculations quickly turned into an inferno as an anonymous report made its way to Scrappy's email. As the PDF file's subject line, "You need to see the sits about Kendra." Scrappy opened the file in his car outside his studio in downtown Atlanta. His normally composed face turned white. It wasn't just a screenshot from a gossip blog or some nonsense from a tabloid. The DNA test findings were certified, something that can't be copied, the kind with real names and even more real consequences. According to the letter, there was a 99.9% probability that Scrappy's DNA would match that of the baby boy, who was born 5 months ago and whom none of the cast members even knew existed. The child's mother, Kendra Robinson. Scrappy sat still, suffocated by the realization. He tried to recollect every interaction he had had with Kendra over the past year, including their secret encounters and the awkward situations she had brushed off. Following a few beers, he realized that it was the night following a reunion tape when Kendra mentioned that she needed a ride home because her Uber kept canceling. The details blurred. I thought of a hotel room, then nothing. There was nothing, but silence the next day. Not only was the betrayal unexpected, it was nuclear. In addition, Scrappy, who had worked hard to enhance his image, was suddenly at the center of a scandalous scheme that nobody could have foreseen. Young Jock, however, was completely unaware of this. He didn't know he was going to be caught off guard because he kept posting photos of himself and Kendra together, defending her in interviews and calling her the realest woman I ever had. During that weekend, Mona Scotiang threw a secret, low-key networking party for the cast. Although cameras weren't meant to be rolling, one crew member secretly recorded what happened. Scrappy came into the room with a manila envelope. Kendra was already there, having a drink and chatting with Rashida and Yandi, without a word. Scrappy came up to her and handed her the envelope. It was quiet in the room. "What is this?" Kendra asked, her voice steady, but her eyes clearly in fear. "Open it," Scrappy said coldly. "You know exactly what it is." Yandi drew closer, puzzled. Rashida clutched her pearls, sensing the kind of drama that would make headlines for weeks. When Kendra opened the envelope and saw the DNA test, her face went white and her hands started shaking. "Where did this come from?" she whispered. Scrappy said, "You ought to be questioning why you lied about it. Is Jock the father at all? Or are you just hiding a whole damn baby and playing house?" When Jock heard the last line, he stopped in place, having just entered. "What? Wait a minute." Jock's gaze locked with Kendra's as she turned around. "It's not what it appears to be. What in the world is it?" "Then, Jock," he yelled, "is there a baby I don't know about?" The room exploded. Security tried to step in, but no one was actually fighting yet. Jock ran outside with cameras in tow, and Kendra followed, pleading with him to listen. "Please, Jock. I was afraid. I wasn't even sure at first. You might have the kid, I thought. But what, Kendra? You slept in the same bed as Scrappy." "While we were together." Kendra broke down in tears. "It was a mistake. It was just one night. I didn't know it would come back this way." Jock stared at her with burning eyes. "Do you know what hurts the most? I believed you to be genuine. For you, I put up with criticism from my mother, my baby mama, and my admirers. When I was with you, you had a whole lie in your stomach." Back inside, Scrappy appeared numb. Rashida asked him why he took this particular approach. He explained, "She played us both because she needed to feel it." Yandi pulled out her phone. "This is going to be everywhere, girl." She was also not wrong. Within a few hours, the video was made available online. It was discussed on all of the gossip blogs. The headline: Scrappy releases the DNA bombshell that identifies Kendra Robinson's secret baby as young Jock loses it. In under 48 hours, the video had over 2 million views. Twitter was booming. Instagram was flooded with memes, and TikTokers were reenacting the argument. Kendra, who had previously been seen as the calm, collected alternative to Jock's emotional tendencies, was now the antagonist. I immediately got a call from Love and Hip Hop producers who said, "We have to do this on camera. It's too important to ignore." Jock was a complete phantom, though, and he was not returning their calls. He deleted all of his photos of Kendra. So I unfollowed her and even canceled his scheduled appearance at a club event. Using the Notes app, Kendra apologized on Instagram, saying she was working through a personal matter and asking for space and compassion. However, many weren't buying it. On the other hand, Scrappy remained silent, no posts, no interviews, just the kind of stillness that makes rumors even more prominent. Then came the second surprise. 6 months before the date, Kendra entered the maternity ward by herself. No Jock, no family, just her checking in under a different name. The Shade Room then received additional footage from an unidentified source, this time from a hospital security camera. The video confirmed everything. There was a kid, and Kendra had concealed it from everyone. By this time, Love and Hip Hop producers were racing to shoot a confrontation scene and wanted Scrappy, Jock, and Kendra in the same room, but nobody was sure Jock would show up. He was reportedly staying with his mother, and some claimed he flew to Miami to get his mind straightened out. Backstage, Rashida told Carly Reed, "This is going to be the most watched show in years." With a smile, Carly said, "It's already a movie, baby." To make matters worse, Scrappy called Mona and disclosed yet another startling discovery. "I think the baby is mine, but I need to be positive. I want to take another test. She'll be done on camera as well." Mona instantly agreed, sensing ratings gold. "Done. We'll make the arrangements." It all really started to fall apart at that point. In less than 48 hours, Mona Scott Young booked an opulent Airbnb on the outskirts of Atlanta, complete with velvet couches, camera-ready lighting, and a security guard on duty. This would not be another confession scene. But the moment and the plan were simple. Young Jock would arrive halfway through, and Scrappy would confront Kendra again, this time face to face. The second DNA test, which will be captured on camera, is at the heart of it all. There was a lot of tension in the air on the day of the shoot. Kendra was the first to arrive, dressed entirely in black and wearing large shades to cover her eyes. She sat in the waiting room looking calm on the outside, but her leg bounced uneasily. Scrappy followed, his sweatshirt on, chain tucked in, and his mouth locked. He didn't even look at her. He just crossed his arms and sat down across from her. Refrained from crying. "This time I want the truth," he said. No explanations. Kendra took a big breath. "I've already told you the truth. It was a mistake that night." "What about the baby?" Scrappy asked, turning to the front. She hesitated. "It took me weeks to find out I was pregnant. By then, Jock and I were trying to work things out. I panicked because I didn't want to make a scene. Did you not blow it up?" Scrappy's voice wavered. "It is triggered by you, alongside me, along with Jock. When it comes to your own damn future, it was quiet in the room." The producers gave the okay to go on. The on-set nurse arrived with a sealed parcel and a sterile kit. She said this is the second test that was agreed upon with professionalism. Before it is administered here, a consent form will be signed by both parties. Results within a day. The first person to sign was Kendra. Scrappy followed his hands, shaking slightly. The swabs were taken out, sealed, and sent out with a courier while being watched by security. No leaks. Avoid tampering. The cold, clinical reality is approaching. As the nurse was leaving, the door opened and young Jock came in. He looked different. Don't smile, not bravado. There was only silent rage simmering beneath his shadows. He didn't say anything at first. He just stood there, staring at the two people who had turned his world upside down. Kendra stood to speak. "Jock." He extended a hand. "Don't, not quite yet." He turned to face Scrappy. "You guys are my brothers. We've experienced some crazy things." However, this Scrappy stood unsure. I didn't even remember that night until the results were revealed, so there's no other way for me to let you know. What the heck? Jock asked. We simply wait around to find out who the father is, just like this filthy game show. No, Kendra said we deal with it like adults. Jock gave her a serious look. That isn't a mistake, Kendra. There is a trend there. You want an adult? Okay, let's face it. You were unfaithful, you lied, and you didn't tell any of us that you had a baby. Kendra said nothing. Her silence was enough. The three of them sat down again. The cameras kept rolling. Jock spoke again after a pause. What aggravates me the most? Do you know, those were his words. Rushing around, you always accuse me of being dishonest, doing me. And you were with us all the time bearing this burden. As Kendra whispered, I was afraid. Good, he shouted. You ought to be. The producers cut to a confessional segment a few hours later. Jock, my name is Kendra. I trusted Kendra. Hell, I was ready to have our own kid with her someday. And? Now, I don't even know who I've been sleeping with, Scrappy remarked. Dude, I'm not proud of any of this. I will not, however, allow anyone to present me in a manner that is intended. Being kind to a child who could be mine is all I'm attempting to do. I couldn't choose between two men who shared my heart and secrets, but Kendra said, nobody lived my reality. But everyone wants to pass judgment. To interpret the findings of the second test, the cast was returned the following day. There was a large manila envelope on the table. Mona herself stepped in to read it. Despite all the chaos, I want to thank you all for agreeing to this, she said. We proceed with clarity, regardless of the outcome. She broke the seal, unfolded the paper, and read it silently before looking up. The biological fatherhood of Scrappy is confirmed by the DNA test. The room fell apart. Scrappy had his face covered. Kendra's lips quivered. Jock laughed, not with fun, but with disbelief. Weeping. Oh my God, he said. You all got your response. Kendra stepped forward. Please, Jock, I want to make sure. I don't want an explanation. I want distance. He interrupted her. I want peace. I want to go to. He turned to face the camera. Tell everyone that young Jock is not dating. He walked out, slamming the door behind him. Kendra didn't move. Still sitting there, absorbing the confirmation, was Scrappy. Ona stepped in again, trying to keep things in order. We'll allow you all some time to relax, but tomorrow we'll need confessions from everyone. The episode ended with a long montage of Kendra crying alone in the backseat of a car while Jock is packing luggage at an apartment in the middle of town and Scrappy going to a kid's store and buying a onesie that says #1 Dad. Social media was a battleground. Some admirers blasted Kendra for being a crafty liar, while others defended her, saying Jock had gotten worse over time. The story was even picked up by TMZ, and Scrappy memes with the phrase, I am your father, went widespread. But the next change came as a surprise. A week later, Kendra posted an Instagram reel with the simple caption. It's a quiet video of her holding a hazy infant in her arms as she sits in a nursery with a soft piano melody playing in the background. My reality. My son. No more lies. With the words, my little king, and a heart emoji, Scrappy shared it right away. You will always be a part of me. Jock, on the other hand, posted a completely different type of message. A photo of himself with two women on a Miami yacht. Not worried, rejuvenated. Fresh starts is the description. But the fans weren't done. As they dug deeper, they found footage from a previous Love and Hip Hop reunion special, which was shot the same night Kendra claimed she needed a lift from Scrappy. In the video, she can be heard whispering to Scrappy backstage, but the producers never showed it. So the leaked footage bolstered their timeline. The betrayal was not new. It had only been revealed a few months before. A report that Scrappy sought full custody of the child, accusing Kendra of being emotionally unstable because of her duplicity. started to circulate as if the issue hadn't gotten any more intense. The internet went wild again after Kendra's representative denied the accusation, but court documents were supposedly forwarded to Fulton County Court. Whole custody. A fan tweeted about it. It's just turned into a damn courtroom drama from reality TV. Despite this, Mona Scotchung kept silent while covertly putting together the biggest reunion special this series had ever attempted, because when everyone has a secret, there's always more to speak about. The tension was palpable, both on and off set. The Love and Hip Hop series had seen several controversies, but none had been as severe as this one. Scrappy's request for full custody of the youngster stunned the cast and fans alike. Kendra, who had formerly been loved by the Love and Hip Hop community, was now the focus of widespread public condemnation. She had made her bed and it was time to sleep, but she was not going down easily. There were rumors as the days passed. Kendra turned to her social media followers for comfort after experiencing heartbreak and confusion. Her Instagram became a battleground as fans defended her or attacked her for betraying not just Scrappy, but also her former supporters. Some said she was using her pregnancy to gain sympathy, while others thought she was sincerely trying to mend her broken relationships. Kendra recently posted an uncensored raw video. She was sitting on a couch in her home with her baby's crib in the background. She looked exhausted yet determined. Kendra said in a steady but passionate voice, "I'm not ashamed of my baby, but I'm not proud of my mistakes. I made some bad decisions, but I'm acting in my son's and my own best interests. You all know me? With you, I've always been honest. I didn't seek this drama, but it was unavoidable. I'm not a villain here, just a woman attempting to understand things." The plot stayed the same despite the video's widespread popularity. While some expressed sympathy, many of her fans continued to condemn her actions. Scrappy, on the other hand, mostly kept quiet, focusing on his own family and the upcoming legal matter. His Instagram was filled with photos of him playing with his daughter, hanging out with his mother, and keeping a low profile. Behind the scenes, the producers were already planning the reunion special, the next big move. This reunion would not be like the others. Mona Scotchung became aware that this episode had the power to completely transform the franchise as the conflict between Kendra, Jock, and Scrappy intensified. She was committed to documenting every facet of what would turn out to be the most spectacular Love and Hip Hop season finale ever. The reunion was scheduled for next week, and the cast was already getting ready for the face-offs. Kendra and Jock had agreed to attend, but neither was thrilled to be seated next to the other. The final altercation was initiated. The reunion began. There was an incredible amount of enthusiasm in the studio. Fans packed the arena, eager to see how the cast would handle the consequences from the affair. As MC Nina Parker took the stage, quickly addressed the tension that had grown during the weeks leading up to the event. "Tonight is about closure," Nina said firmly into the microphone. "You've all felt a variety of emotions, Scrappy, Jock, and Kendra. The time has come for us to face reality head-on. Let's get started." The reaction to Kendra taking the stage first was not entirely positive. Some fans cheered, while others jeered. She kept her head up as she sat down, scanning the room. But Jock was still not there. Everyone was waiting for his dramatic entrance, which he had insisted on making last, and tension was growing. When Jock eventually took the stage, the crowd erupted. It seemed as though the previously cocky and indifferent rapper was about to lose it. His face was cold as he sat down on the opposite side of the stage, barely recognizing Kendra. The room went quiet as Nina looked at Kendra. Nina broke the stillness by asking Kendra, "Even though you've been a little outspoken on social media, this is your chance to speak with Jock directly. How would you like to address him?" Kendra took a big breath. "I'm sorry, Jock, I will never be able to make up for the pain I have caused you. I did make mistakes, but it wasn't all lies. I adore you even though I know I made a mistake. But I want you to understand that this baby isn't just a coincidence. My reality is him. Jock's countenance remained unchanged, despite his fists being gripped tightly on his lap. You lied to me for months, he added slowly. I don't know what to believe anymore. I was not informed of this by you. Now, you're saying that the baby is my reality. I don't know who you are anymore, Kendra. Tears began to well up in Kendra's eyes, but she forced herself to remain composed. I understand why you feel tricked, and I can understand your anger, but I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I want to know the truth about our son. Finally, Scrappy, who had been quietly watching from the sidelines, spoke out. Jock, you're not the only one who lied here. Kendra isn't the only one. You ignored me even though you knew I had a right to know about that baby. The real issue is that, despite the fact that we were both tricked, the child deserves more. We have to find a solution for him. Jock felt a flash of emotion in his eyes. You're right, Scrappy. I do, but I won't pretend that I'm okay with this because none of us are. The dispute went on for hours, and Nina skillfully guided the cast through the emotional roller coaster. At one point, the entire group broke down in tears as Kendra opened up about her worries, including her problems with public judgment and her fear of losing both guys. Kendra interrupted, saying, I never wanted to be the villain. However, I usually receive criticism when I attempt to defend myself, so even if I'm not perfect, I'm doing my best. And I will always stand up for my son. The drama was clearly far from over, even though the episode ended without a clear resolution. In the final scene of the reunion, Kendra was seen sitting by herself in her dressing room, holding her son, whispering to the camera. This is just the beginning. The truth always surfaces. One thing was certain, though. This season of Love and Hip Hop had completely changed the reality TV drama landscape. Supporters were divided after the reunion, with some hoping that Kendra and Jock could get back together, and others believing that Kendra and Scrappy had a stronger foundation on which to rebuild. The custody battle would continue in court. Jock and Kendra's relationship was uncomfortable, but not completely destroyed. What about Scrappy? He had come a long way as a father, but the real work, the labor of rebuilding trust, was just beginning. This season demonstrated to the Love and Hip Hop group that nothing was ever quite as it seemed. With every scandal offering the possibility of a new beginning and every lie hiding a more profound truth, the cameras would keep rolling, recording the filthy, painful, and beautiful journey of love, betrayal, and redemption, because the drama in reality TV never truly ends, it just becomes more complicated. The drama is far from over. The shocking revelations and the explosive encounters between Scrappy, young Jock, and Kendra are just the beginning. But what will happen to them next? Will Jock and Kendra be able to work things out, or will they be unable to? What about Scrappy? Can he fulfill the role that he must for his son? Which side are you on in this bizarre story of love and hip-hop? Is Kendra's apology genuine or just a face-saving tactic? Will Jock ever trust her again? And now that all is out, how will Scrappy react to the truth? You won't want to miss a second of the more delectable stuff we have in store for you. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to stay up to date on the latest drama. The story of your favorite love and hip-hop stars is far from over, so let's take a closer look at their lives together. And click the notification bell to be the first to know when the next episode of this captivating reality show airs.